选手都行。
I always try to like make a little funny face right before you go to a different thing because it freezes the webcam for just a second. I don't know how successful I am usually, but maybe some screenshots will let me know. Anyway, the top of the map in the purple, starting off for Team Liquid, it is none other than Sheth, the Manor Zerg, some call him. But down at the bottom, he's going to need to deal with one of the best Terrans in the entire world. A longtime GSL player, very, very good. He is MarineKing.Prime.
Yes, he is. The constant runner-up in GSL events, but a guy who has kind of come into his own lately as well.
He won a couple things here and there, but in all the Code S stuff, yeah, he's been runner-up, unfortunately. But, oh, someone, is there a Team Rain person in here or something? We're getting pings on the mini-map. Yes, that is a part of the map where there's, wait, let's
okay,
let's
we'll
check
take a
this
look
out.
at
Okay,
it.
so
yeah.
This part of the map, we've got, all right, there's some minerals up there, but if we go down, there's obviously a crack in the terrain, so you can't walk over that.
Yeah.
And looks like a little bit of ramp there, and a little fan thing.
Yes.
All right, so there you go. Definitely ping-worthy, I would say.
Thank you. Yes, I'm sure. I don't know. Someone was commenting about warpins or something there, but
it's a great part of the map. I always love looking at it. Oh, is that gas first for MarineKing?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact,
it is. You know, he's been enjoying doing that lately. He's been liking to get that really, really fast factory. He's been using it for Hellions sometimes. He's been using it for Banshees sometimes. So MarineKing is kind of, and not a lot of other Terran players are doing this right now. It's kind of interesting to see him kind of go back to this. It's sort of a gas first renaissance for our red Terran right now.
Gas First Renaissance, led by Leonardo da Vinci of Terrans himself.
Sounds like a band name, doesn't it? Gas First Renaissance?
Gas First Renaissance. It's pretty awesome. What genre of music would they play, though?
I would say Quest Metal. Probably. I would go for that.
I would listen to that, as a matter of fact. So, Sheth opening with Hatch first and then into a 16 pool afterwards. And there it is. Coming up at the moment. On MarineKing's side of things, he's being harassed. An evil drone trying to take out his aggression on that SEV.
Yep. Yeah, the drone trying to be as probe-like as he can, but it's not as successful. Whoa, don't fight that. Yeah, that's not a fight you want to fight, SCV.
Yes, that is a bad idea, and of course MarineKing did put up that gas early so he gets a factory as quick as is humanly possible. Starts that even before his first Marine pops up.
Yep. And nothing like a, there's a reactor on the barracks as well, no second gas. So obviously it's not going to be Banshees at this point. It will be reactored Hellions for an opening. And just kind of the fastest possible reactored Hellion is kind of how you can think of it that way.
And Sheth did decide to invest in his hatchery, so his pool's coming up a little bit later, but there it is. We'll see what he invests in right away. It's one queen to start, it's probably a second. There it is.
Well, it's really interesting. I'm curious to see, okay, spine crawlers. So I'm curious to see if he is going to add on any roaches here with this too. I was talking to Rain Gix over the weekend. I crashed at the Rain house, as I often do on some weekends, just to kind of get some good practice and talk to some pro gamers. And Gix was saying just how much he enjoyed using roaches in ZVT these days. Just because of the prevalence of Hellion openings, you can really get in there and do a lot of damage sometimes with that too. So I'll be curious to see if Sheth decides to try something like that. I haven't seen too many of his games lately, but I don't think he's quite the player to go into roaches a whole lot, if I remember right.
Well, you know, he was using it quite a bit.
Was he? Okay.
A couple of months ago when he was the Fight Club champion. That was what he was doing against every Terran player then. But I haven't seen too many of his games recently, so we'll see how he's adapted and reacted.
Banshees.
Yeah, following up this reactored Hellion build with a Banshee on the way. Of course, he doesn't have near enough gas to put up any sort of cloak for a while. Two Hellions up the front now, poking away at a little queen, but of course Sheth is going to be pretty darn well defended with those Ling Spine Crawler and queens.
This is a very popular TVZ build right now in Korea, going Hellion into Banshee. A lot of people are doing it. It's just really abusive. It's really difficult for Zerg to deal with. It takes a lot of multitasking, so it's a good way to put pressure on your opponent. I was playing on the Korean server yesterday. I was playing Zerg, and I had a Terran player go. He tried to Reaper bunker me into Hellions, into Cloak Banshees, all on one base, and it was just like, come on, man.
That is dirty. That is dirty. But
you see that a lot on the Korean server.
Yeah, and hopefully you're able to defend it and just out-macro him afterwards, but that is...
I made it to the Banshees, but the Banshees finished me off. I'll admit it. I'll admit it.
That's... Yeah, you're a strong man for admitting it, though. I'm okay with that. Look at this.
I lose games. It does happen.
What?
Believe it or not.
Inconceivable.
Believe it or not.
Inconceivable.
I know.
All right, here comes Banshee number 1, though, with a bunch of Hellions outside of the front. 6 there, 2 more on the way, and 1 Queen already starting to get poked down. But we have a lot of Lings out, and at the same time, MarineKing's trying to come through the front. He does some damage with the Hellions. Those are getting roasted pretty quickly, but this Banshee is now starting to go unchecked. The Queen has gone down.
Yeah, it looks like the Zergling's getting some of the Hellions, but just not enough. That SCV worth its weight in gold minerals repairing those things. And Sheth is in a little bit of trouble here. He's losing a lot of mining time. He's lost a decent amount of drones. The Banshee is now a corporal. But Sheth didn't take too much damage from the Hellions, so I suppose he did get a little bit out of that.
Oh,
it's away.
Banshee just getting away, but Sheth, he has got an uphill battle ahead of him right now. Taking a look, he is up in drones, but of course he's been set back quite a bit as his opponent already has his second command center finishing up in a second and already 30 SCVs out on the field. This Overlord taking a little bit of damage. Here comes a bit of a Ling counterattack.
Is MarineKing ready for this?
I don't know. We'll see if Sheth just turns around, takes a few losses, but doesn't want to try and push into those Hellions.
Yeah, I think when he saw the starport going again, he thought maybe there'd be a few less Hellions out there for MarineKing. He can get in there and do some damage, but didn't quite work out, unfortunately, for Sheth. And he's just having to spend so much money on spore crawlers and Zerglings. His economy is really, really being held back, it seems like. What's the worker count right now?
It is 39 to 33.
Yeah, so not quite as many drones as he would really prefer at this point in time. And 3 Banshees might be a bit difficult to deal with. It'll be interesting to see how he decides to try to handle it. Does he have enough Queens?
We have Lings running around the outside as well. There's a Spore Crawler here, so MarineKing already has to back up because those Queens, nice job with the positioning there for Sheth as well, as he backs up and keeps all of his units alive while continuing to do damage to the Banshees. They take a lot of damage and haven't gotten anything done quite yet.
Yep. Yeah, nice job zoning those out. He's got the Spore Crawler in just the right place, has enough Queens. And it's difficult to find that balance, too, as a Zerg player. I mean, plus you're spending all these resources on it. It's kind of annoying. But he is going for the Spire.
Yes.
He's got a Roach Warren out if he needs it. And as soon as the Mutas are out, then that's going to be the end of any sort of Banshee play. Yeah, there's a +1 Carapace in the Baneling Nest.
Yep.
So I've got a feeling we will see Mutalisk play from Sheth. Let's see.
MarineKing has to watch out, though. Those Banshees are in range of those Queens. Doubling back there for a second just to give me a heart attack as they try and move away. And Sheth does manage to drive them out eventually. Still has those Lings over on the right-hand side. So we can see MarineKing is moving into Marauder Tank now at the moment. Did he pick up on that Roach Warren? Yes, of course he did. It was up at the front.
Yep, he'll just add on a couple Marauders to stay safe and then go mostly Marine Tank in this one just to kind of play it standard. Yep, there's a Spire from Sheth as well. So he's been able to kind of get to that mid-game point, and he's going to feel a lot more comfortable once those Mutalisks are out. I mean, Hellions aren't going to be as much of an issue. Banshees certainly aren't going to be as much of an issue. And at that point, if he's able to stay safe and kind of hold off whatever push MarineKing sends his way, should be able to take a third. And, tried to get a little run by. Didn't quite work there.
No, unfortunately not. MarineKing still has a lot of Hellions sitting up at the front. So he is going to back away with those. Ooh, looks like trying to catch these Zerglings as they move across the map. And it looks like he may do just that. Ooh. Oh, a lot of Zerglings getting roasted there. So MarineKing only losing 1 Hellion thus far. And the rest of those Lings do go down, trapping them in from all sides. Very nice control out of MarineKing to take those out.
Yeah, he's really doing a good job with those Hellions. He's so far ahead in supply right now for this time of the game. About 20 supply ahead, which is quite a bit in ZVT. And he's just forcing Sheth again to spend so much money defending against this stuff.
Wow. And even with the Roach there, it's not going to be enough as all the Lings disappeared. The Roach looking around. Where'd my buddies go?
Where my Lings at?
Where my Lings at?
They're dead. That's where they're at.
Here come the fleet of Banshees now once again with SCVs in tow set to repair those. Banshee's just a little bit too quick and they can't catch up yet, but there they go. All right, Lings morphing in. Roach is sitting on the field for Sheth. He's still got his work cut out for him, though. Has not been able to invest in any air forces yet, despite the fact that he's already getting +1 air weapons, as he has to commit to this ground defense for now.
Yep, needs to try to hold it off. Only 1 tank for MarineKing, but those Banshees are going to do so much damage. And there's a scan to take out creep tumors. I don't know if Sheth has what he'll need to hold this off.
All right, running dead on into a couple of spine crawlers, so it looks like the Roach Warren's going to die up the front. More Banelings are being morphed in right now. MarineKing pushing his way up, though he has killed the spine crawlers. Banelings rolling down from the top, but they're running around the evolution chamber, which means they had to flood through a tiny little gap, and they didn't do as much damage as they could have.
Wow.
And it looks like MarineKing is just going to flood his way through.
That just blows my mind that he was able to survive that. Oh, but here comes another round, and using a lot on the Marauders. That didn't quite work out for Sheth as well as he'd hoped. No. Siege mode is now finished. Yep, there go the siege tanks sieging up. And Sheth is in serious trouble. Drones coming off the line. It looks like he might barely be able to hold this off.
Yeah, pulling everything off the line, but taking significant losses. 21 kills on those tanks so far. A bunch of workers have fallen. Look at that, MarineKing still fighting with units, even through all that. Finally now picking things up. Let's take a look at the workers killed. 30 now. 30 workers killed.
All right, well, Sheth is definitely held back here, making a bunch of Banelings. Not quite sure why he's doing that. Right after he stopped the push, he's making 3 Mutalisks. He could have maybe made another Mutalisk or so too, but you know, no matter what he makes right now, he's behind. He's in a bad way, but I don't know. I think he's just kind of getting ready for that follow-up push that he thinks is going to be coming, and he is right. It is on the way.
Yeah, it's a pretty considerable push, as a matter of fact, with a couple of tanks there. Looks like Sheth is trying to crawl his way around the outside to try and get in and maybe do a backstep here in a second. But there's already some units prepared there for MarineKing. Probably won't do too much damage. However, the medevac's getting a little ahead of themselves. Here come the Banelings afterwards. MarineKing is not sieged up yet, so the Banelings are actually going to hit quite a few units, actually allowing the Mutalist to swing him from behind and do some damage as well. Most of the anti-air has gone down. Good split from MarineKing with the rest of his forces, but he lost his tanks and didn't get a ton of damage done there, admittedly.
Yeah, not the most efficient trade, but it looks like he should. Oh, with those reinforcements, I don't know, man. He might barely have enough to hold this off, but
gonna find out.
Nice micro, wow.
Yeah, certainly. Keeping all those Marines alive for so long, and they're going to start rallying themselves back against the Mutalists, trying to run up the moment now. Looks like they're going to content themselves with a little bit of Overlord slaughter.
Yeah, that's going to really supply block Sheth. I don't know, man. I mean, this is such a small group of units from MarineKing here, but he's just able to keep doing damage and keep doing damage. I mean, all he needs to do is just kind of sit back, build up a force, and then push again. And Sheth just is not going to be able to either A, make enough drones to survive a late game, or B, make enough offensive units to survive the next push. I mean, Sheth is kind of caught between a rock and a hard place economically in this game right now. And
yeah,
we'll see what he decides to do.
He knows that a third base is coming up right now as well, figuring that that's probably going to lift over as he saw the SCVs already transferred. But yeah, so MarineKing's going to be sitting on 3 base. Sheth has not been able to expand to his 4th. He's trying to drone up furiously, but he's 23 workers behind right now, and his opponent can throw in mules into that mix.
He could get some good Baneling hits. Might be able to, you know, turn the tide in that regard. Burrowed Banelings, I think, would be great in this position as well. It's a good way to take out a lot of units efficiently. That's kind of the thing that Sheth needs to worry about more than anything right now is efficiency. You know, how is he going to handle this army in the most efficient way possible? Because he doesn't have the resources to be wasteful at all.
No. And MarineKing running in with those units as he's attacking the 3rd at the same time. And looks like a few Banelings are going to roll in now. Oh, nice job picking up right away from MarineKing, and he leaves a lot of his units left over. He killed a good number of the Mutalisks over down to the bottom left-hand corner. That didn't really threaten him at all, and this 3rd for Liquid Sheth is not long for this world.
Nope, and those Mutalisks flew back to try to take out the tank, but MarineKing got another couple good shots at them as well. And yeah, that 3rd base is gone. GG from Sheth with the exclamation point, being the manner guy that he is. And Prime takes game 1. Man, these guys are really not pulling any punches this time around.